There we go, Steelers. There we go. There we go, Steelers. There we go. Here we go, Steelers. There we go. Welcome into the Steelers Talk Live Show. I am your host, Jack Sperry. That is producer Jeffrey Coopersetin. First victory Monday of the 2024 season, Coop, and it's that much sweeter because the Pittsburgh Steelers are the lone team that started the season 1-0 to start the season in the AFC North. Number one, Pittsburgh Steelers, tied for last. Baltimore Ravens, tied for last. Cincinnati Bengals, tied for last. Cleveland Browns. Doesn't get much better than that, Coop. How you feeling on this victory Monday?
When you wake up on a Monday, it just feels significantly better when your team won versus when you lose. That's all I know. And the Steelers won. We got to walk into work today all happy. Whereas if you're Matthew Peterson or you're Marshall Green, you walked into work
or Tom Downey.
Or Tom, well, no.
No, it's Stone.
Yeah,
Stone
or
Shields.
Stone. You walk into work and you kind of just feel like your dog died.
100%, man. We got a bunch of great stuff to cover here on this Victory Monday edition of Steelers Talk Live. First up, Steelers made two signings today, a punter and a safety, so we'll let you guys know who those two players are and what you can expect from those two players moving forward. I think both of them are going to be in the rotation starting this week against the Broncos. So,
with the punter, you have no choice.
Well, exactly. You sign a punter, your punter's out for the season. That guy kind of has to play. But it's going to be interesting to see how these two guys make an impact from week 2 onward for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Second segment today, we're going to be discussing Russell Wilson versus Justin Fields. After Fields led this team to an 18-10 victory yesterday afternoon, who should start week 2? Should Russ get his chance to exact his revenge against Sean Payton and the Denver Broncos, or has Fields done enough to earn the starting job for the rest of the season? I'll answer that question. And then we have our preview versus the Denver Broncos coming up on our third segment today. So a bunch of great Steelers content coming your way, including this week. So today, of course, we're live right now, Monday, 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time. This is when we go live during the season. We go live every single Monday to recap every single Steelers football game. Then we go live on Thursdays, 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time this week. We're actually not going to do Madden today. We are going to do Madden on Thursday. We decided to move that to Thursday instead. So if you're expecting to see Madden today, we will do it Thursday. And then our live watch party, we had an awesome time yesterday, added over 1,000 subscribers in our first watch party of the season. So thank you to all the real ones that showed up yesterday afternoon. This week, we start 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time on Sunday, so it's going to be a lot of fun, man. Coop, we're going to get into some awesome content here coming up here in just a second, but first, let's have a word from our sponsor here at GameTime, which is the fastest and easiest way to buy tickets for all the sports, music, comedy, and theater in your area. And guys, we know watching a Pittsburgh Steelers game from the seats in Acrisure Stadium is unlike any experience you can get from watching a sporting event, especially a football game live, is anything you can get from watching the game on your couch. GameTime Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. The way that GameTime Picks works, guys, is their brand new feature on the GameTime app. You go into a game you want to go see, so let's go to the Steelers home opener in Week 3 versus the Chargers. You select that GameTime Picks filter, and GameTime automatically puts all the tickets to that game through an algorithm to show you the best possible deals on all the seats they have in their database. So you don't have to search around. You don't have to go shopping around on a bunch of different ticketing apps or anything like that. GameTime Picks shows you the best deals available to you whenever you go on the GameTime app. And some other features that I love on GameTime, guys, is you get the lowest price guarantee on any ticket to any event. And it's more than just sports. It's more than just football, right? You can go baseball, hockey, even tennis, if you can get tickets to tennis events, right? You can go to music festivals. You can go to concerts. You can go to comedy shows. A bunch of great stuff on the GameTime app. If you can get tickets to an event, you guys can get it at the lowest price guaranteed. They also have all-in pricing, so you don't get slapped with crazy fees at checkout, and flash deals, so you can get even cheaper tickets if you're a procrastinator like myself. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with GameTime today. Download the GameTime app, create an account, and use code CHATSPORTS. It's one word, all caps, CHATSPORTS, right down there in the bottom right of your screen right now for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, it's just for that first purchase on GameTime. So create an account today and redeem code CHATSPORTS. One word, all caps, CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Download GameTime today. What time is it? It's game time. Okay, so now here's our donation menu today, guys. If you guys want to send in a donation, you guys want to send a little bit of a thank you for all the work that we put in here at Steelers Talk to give you guys the best damn Steelers coverage, absolutely free here on YouTube.
Just so you know, when we had this show all ready to go, and then the Steelers made 2 signings, so we adjust everything on the fly.
Yes, we
do that for you.
Okay, we do that for you guys. And then, so any donation, you get a shout out. All right, $10, we do shots for you guys. $20 or more, you get your name on the new mystery box that we have here on Steelers Talk. So we have this lunch pail. I mean, we know Pittsburgh's a blue-collar city, right? So you got to bring your lunch pail to work. These are the real ones that put in $20 or more in donations. And we put your name on there. And we actually have a special item in here, Coop. It could be a signed jersey, could be a signed mini helmet. It could be any special item that you can think of. It could be in this lunch pail this week. Plus, it's got that awesome silver Steelers decal right there. We got a bunch of names on there from the people that donated on the watch party. So if you guys want to get your name on the lunch pail, $20 or more in a donation will get the job done. $100 we bang for you. Pause. Plus we do a Here We Go Steelers. We wave the towel around a little bit. Then $500 or more, we hit the Steelers Talk Gong. It's right over here, by the way. And then we give away a black diamond. So if you guys feel like making the show crazy, absolutely we can make that happen. Now, we do prefer Venmo, Cashapp, and PayPal more than Super Chat. And the reason why that is, guys, is because YouTube takes 30% of all the revenue that you guys send in via Super Chats, all right? And that's kind of like their fee for allowing us to use their platform for our live shows. However, if you send that money to Venmo, Cashapp, or PayPal, then we get to keep a larger portion of the proceeds. So if you want to find me on Venmo, you can find me at Jack Sperry. On Cash App, # Captain Jack 19, and then at Captain Jack Rabbit on PayPal. So if you guys want to send in a donation, that's absolutely great. But I want to make absolutely clear that is not a requirement on this show. The only requirement is that you are a Pittsburgh Steelers fan and you want to enjoy the Steelers content that we have for you guys on today's show.
And that you hate the Cleveland Steamers.
Yeah, and the Cleveland Steamers, you can't like those guys.
I'll be honest. I almost feel bad for them.
I mean, $230 million on a quarterback that can't play. I mean, I was listening to Matthew Peterson, our Browns host, earlier. He is seething today.
Oh, the copium that he's going to have to put himself through this year is going to be insane.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, man. So let's get to our Black Diamonds here. We give a shout out to all of our Black Diamonds. These are the people that put in at least $500 on a singular stream. So big shout out to Sam. Go back, Coop. I didn't read. Actually, we have so many. We
have too many of them.
I've been told by our bosses that we can't give everybody their individual shout out anymore because the list is so wide and far-reaching. We have so many Black Diamonds here at Steelers Talk that we're just going to roll through the graphics here. I just want to say a personal thank you to every person that has donated at least $500 on this show, and a big shout out to Platinum 666 in particular, and also Kurgan Cold for donating a lot of these Black Diamond memberships. So what you get if you're a Black Diamond is you get your very own Super Chat sticker next to your Super Chats and donations for life. You also get a Steelers Talk jersey with your retired number that we wear on the watch parties. We wore Kurgan Cold's jersey for this weekend's game against the Atlanta Falcons. And honestly, Coop, we got so many jerseys now, I think we're going to have to start wearing multiple jerseys for every single game.
We might have to go like one per quarter.
Absolutely. So big shout out to all of our Steelers Talk Black Diamonds, man. If you want to join Black Diamond Club today, it's $500. I know it's a very steep price, but, as you guys can see, there's a lot of people in this club. So, in order to join it, it's got to be difficult to join. And you got to be a real one to join. So I appreciate everybody that has joined, and I just appreciate everybody in the chat right now supporting our channel. So let me know down there in the comments section who has liked the video. Type me to get the show started. We got 159 people watching right now. And we got 33 people that have liked the show. So before we get into our first segment, we need to get this to at least 50 likes. All right, so type me in the chat for a shout out. Let's see who's in the chat today, man. We got Dylan Lewandowski. We got Brock Walker. We got John McKee. We got Mike Falk. We got Hunt Dat Killer 69. We got Elevate LTs. We got Big Dog 412. We got Trent Lawson. We got Suey. We got Elevate LTs. We got Big Dog 412. Got Super Steelers Gaming. We got Cassie Voth, my girlfriend, in the chat. We got Lil Slush. We've got Jason McDonald. We got Mike. We got Ephraim. We got Nino. We got Damian Roy, my man, in the chat. We got Lucas Skew. We got Imante Paban. Got Steel Eye. What's up, Steel Eye? Good to see you, man. Your jersey's on its way. We got Caleb. We got Vincent. We got Commander Wolf. Got Bobaldo. Make sure you guys click that thumbs up icon. I'm only going to be giving shout-outs to people that have clicked the like button. Got Stanley Williams. We got Super Steelers Game again. Gregory Karam. Got Baxter Boy. I3. Appreciate you guys. We got Offsides Edits in here. Got a bunch of great yinzers in the chat right now, so make sure you type those me's. Make sure you click that thumbs up icon, and now we can get into our content today, guys. Okay, so the Steelers have made 2 signings. We're going to talk about those 2 signings here in just about 30 seconds or so. Then I'll go into who should be the starting quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers this week versus the Denver Broncos. And speaking of that game against the Broncos this Sunday here in Week 2, I've got my full Week 2 preview letting you guys know what the Steelers need to do to come away victorious against the Ponies there in Mile High Stadium. All right. Let's get into it right now, Coop. Get those donations in, all that great stuff. I appreciate your guys' support. Without further ado, let's get into our first segment right here on Steelers Talk Live. Welcome into Steelers Talk. I'm your host, Jack Sperry, and the Pittsburgh Steelers have made 2 pretty big signings here at the end of NFL Week 1, heading into NFL Week 2 as they prepare to play the Denver Broncos in Mile High Stadium. And today we're going to be talking about these 2 signings and how they are going to impact the Pittsburgh Steelers here during the 2024 campaign. So I greatly appreciate all of your guys' support watching today's video. Obviously, we put one out earlier, so if you're watching both videos when we put out these 2 video days, you are a real one, and I appreciate your guys' support. And this is why you subscribe to the channel, man. Every time there's breaking news, every time the Steelers make a big signing, every time they make a trade potentially for a wide receiver before the deadline, every time they make a big move or there's a big injury update or whatever the case may be, we got breaking news coverage for you guys right here on Steelers Talk. We are dedicated to getting you guys breaking news action, even on my days off. You guys know I do those videos at home when breaking news happens on my days off. So I'm dedicated to getting you guys the really, really fast, really, really informative Steelers coverage whenever breaking news happens. So make sure you guys click that subscribe button right now. So let's start with the Monday signings here, where Terrell Edmunds, a former first-round pick for the Pittsburgh Steelers, returns as the Steelers poach him off of the Jacksonville Jaguars practice squad. And then they also signed Corliss Waitman, a punter that is now in his 3rd stint with the Pittsburgh Steelers. So first, let's talk about Terrell Edmunds. Okay, because this is the bigger name. This is the player that Steelers fans know. He was a starter for this team for 5 seasons from 2018 when he was drafted in the 1st round by the Pittsburgh Steelers to be their starting strong safety all the way to the 2022 season. Left the team to go play for the Eagles and Titans in 2023. He was traded mid-season at the deadline, and then he signed with the Jacksonville Jaguars this year, but then he was placed on practice squad instead of their 53-man roster, and the Steelers ended up poaching him here to replace essentially Logan Lee's spot on the 53-man roster. Logan Lee was placed on IR on Saturday. So here's what the stats look like for Terrell Edmunds over the last several seasons. Last year was not a good season for Terrell Edmunds. All right, he started the year in Philly, didn't play all that well in that Vic Fangio-style system where he was asked to play pretty much man coverage on every single passing snap. That's not really Terrell Edmunds' cup of tea, if I'm being completely honest with you. He's more of a bruiser, bigger, strong safety type, not really a Fangio safety. That was always a bad fit. And then in Tennessee, maybe played a little bit better, but not much better. It was definitely a down year for Terrell Edmunds. But he has a lot of experience here in the Steelers defense. Obviously, he's going to be able to come in and know the terminology of Mike Tomlin and Terrell Austin's defensive scheme. He's played in it extensively as a starter before. So this is definitely going to be a seamless transition as far as mid-season free agency acquisitions go. So let me know down there in the comments section, are you happy that Terrell Edmunds is back with the Pittsburgh Steelers? Give me a yes or a no for today's pinned comment. YouTube's going to throw an ad break here in just a couple of seconds. When that happens, take advantage of that time by giving me a yes or no as to whether you're happy Terrell Edmunds is back. Personally, I like this signing. Okay, it doesn't cost you anything because you are poaching him off of another team's practice squad, and I think it's another really nice depth piece that adds to this Steelers safety room. I do think that Minkah Fitzpatrick and Deshaun Elliott are your starting safety duo, but whereas DeMonte KZ is a little bit of a lighter third safety, now you have a heavier third safety in Terrell Edmunds, who can play almost like a hybrid linebacker safety role, somebody that can almost play nickel and dime linebacker here. Bring him in and have him go up against tight ends, have him take care of those coverage assignments from a linebacker position. As far as linebackers go, he'd be a really high-end coverage linebacker. So it'll be interesting to see if they play him in that type of role. And, of course, he's a former starting strong safety in this defense. So it's going to be interesting to see if he plays there at all in the weeks to come. Now, something that I will say here, Beanie Bishop Jr., the starting slot cornerback in week 1, was a little bit of a weak link in the Steelers defense. Of course, he gave up that touchdown, the lone touchdown of the game, actually, to the Atlanta Falcons there at the end of the second quarter on Sunday. I thought Beanie played okay, but, I could certainly see Mike Tomlin want to get veteran experience interjected in here and move Deshaun Elliott more into the slot and almost go with like a 3 safety package with Minkah Fitzpatrick at free safety, Terrell Edmunds playing in the box, and then you've got Deshaun Elliott playing in the slot. I could certainly see Mike Tomlin and Terrell Austin up for that, as opposed to playing an undrafted free agent like Beanie Bishop Jr. I'm going to be keeping my eye out on personnel and all these different things in this Week 2 matchup against the Denver Broncos and what they decide to do with Terrell Edmunds right away. So coming up here on Steelers Talk, the other signing today, a punter after Cam Johnson was announced was going to miss the rest of the season. So we're going to talk about the punter signing here in just a second. But first, let's have a word from our sponsor here at GameTime, which is the fastest and easiest way to buy tickets for the sports, music, comedy, and theater in your area. And folks, we all know that experiencing a football game, especially live, is unlike anything you can get from watching the game on your couch, okay? So GameTime Picks is a brand new feature from our friends at GameTime, and what it does is that it filters out the fluff to only show you incredible deals on great seats so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. So this is how it works. You go on the GameTime app, you find an event you want to go to, and you put in or you click the GameTime Picks button at the top of your screen there. And what it does is that it puts all the tickets in their database, puts them through an algorithm, and then ranks them based on the best possible deals for you to get the best possible seats, the best possible price, and you don't have to do all this shopping on other ticketing apps. You don't even have to do a bunch of shopping on the GameTime app itself. It automatically filters through the best deals so you guys can get the best deals on your tickets. And what I love about using GameTime is that you get the lowest price guarantee on any ticket to any event. It's guaranteed, so you don't have to, search around a bunch of different ticketing apps to find the best price. You know the best price is going to be on GameTime. You also have the all-in pricing, so you don't get slapped with crazy fees at checkout. You know what you're going to pay up front there with GameTime, and then flash deals so you can get even cheaper tickets the closer you wait to the start of your event. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with GameTime today. Download the GameTime app, create an account, and use code ChatSports. It's one word, all caps, ChatSports. It's right down there in the bottom right of your screen for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, just for that first purchase. Create an account and redeem code ChatSports for $20 off that first purchase. Download GameTime today. What time is it? It's game time. So the other signing for the Pittsburgh Steelers today was Corliss Waitman. Okay, and this is somebody that was brought in as a UDFA back in 2020. And, this isn't his first stint with the Pittsburgh Steelers. But it was announced earlier today that the free agent acquisition that the Steelers made this year in Cameron Johnson, one of the best punters in the National Football League, suffered a season-ending knee injury in yesterday's win versus the Atlanta Falcons, and that is a big blow to the Pittsburgh Steelers special teams unit. But then Tom Pelissero reported today that the Steelers plan to sign punter Corliss Waitman per his agent Alexa Stabler after Cameron Johnson suffered a season-ending knee injury on Sunday. So my thoughts on bringing in Waitman instead of a guy like Brad Wing or, say, Presley Harvin III is that I like the signing. All right, he's somebody that Steelers fans have fond memories of. Somebody that once I put out, my initial reaction on X today, people were like, yeah, I liked him when he was here in Pittsburgh. Now, it's a little bit interesting because he is a lefty punter, right? So it's going to be kind of fun to see that lefty punter aspect on Sundays this year. And I just hope that he's ready for this moment, man. He's been kind of working around practice squads, and, he's had stints with Chicago and New England and Denver, and, he's had a couple starts here and there, but he's never been a full-time starter as a punter in the National Football League. So this is his chance. I hope that he really makes the most of it here in Pittsburgh, and I'm very excited to see what he's going to be able to do. However, I do think he's not going to be on the level of a Cameron Johnston, right? There's a reason why you go out and you get a guy like Johnston in free agency. It's because he brings a certain element to the game management, field positioning, all that stuff that a guy like Corliss Waitman is probably not going to be able to deliver on the same degree. However, I'm really hoping that he's going to be able to come in here and be serviceable, and this team is going to be just fine moving forward. So red pen time. Let me know down there in the comments section. Grade the signings for the Pittsburgh Steelers today. I expect Edmonds to get on the field, and then obviously Waitman is going to be playing a big part in the special teams unit for the Pittsburgh Steelers this year. So you're going to see a lot of these guys on the field here in 2024, I think. Give me an A, a B, a C, a D, or an F. For me personally, I'm going to give the Terrell Edmonds signing a B+, A- for what it is. A depth signing that has experience in this defense. That's a seamless transition. I like that signing quite a bit. Gives this safety room even more depth throughout this season in case there's injuries, God forbid. And then the Waitman signing, I'll give it a B. I don't know how it's going to end up. I guess we'll see how he performs in the days and weeks to come here for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Hopefully, he's better than Presley Harvin III, though. Make sure you guys click that subscribe button if you haven't already. I really do appreciate all of your guys' support. Tomorrow, we have another 2-video day, so make sure you click that subscribe button right now. And until next time, here we go, Steelers. All right, we got some one super chat or multiple super chats here.
No.
What's that? We got one super chat from Soapy Nugget, my man.
Soapy.
Says, do you think Alec Pierce from the Colts is worth trading for? Maybe if he's made available, but he's not made available yet.
Solid receiver, though.
Solid receiver. A big guy, can run down the field. I liked him coming out of Cincinnati. I did.
Now, does he play slot or more outside?
He's outside. He's a bigger guy. But I like Alec Pierce a little bit, but, I don't know. Is he going to be even made available by the Colts? I think the Colts like him quite a bit. So I guess we'll see which guys are made available by the deadline. But honestly, Soapy Nugget, I don't really see the Steelers making an acquisition at wide receiver until, right around the trade deadline. And I only see them acquiring a receiver at the deadline if they continue to win. And I actually do think this team will continue to win. And I think they will be buying wide receiver at the deadline. Devontae Adams, with the way things are shaping up in Las Vegas, watch out for Devontae Adams. I'm telling you, Cortland Sutton is another name to really be keeping your eye out as well, because I think the Broncos are going to stink with Bo Nix this season as well. They are a joke. I really do think that they're going to try to trade Cortland Sutton at the deadline. And the Steelers could be seeing what number would he wear? Because he can't wear 14.
Oh.
Will he wear 15 or something? Is that just a bad number
4?
for him? I kind of like. Wait, I'm trying to think if anyone has 4 right now. Kyle Allen is 4.
Oh, is he?
So Kyle Allen, you can be 15, man. Yeah, we're giving number 5 to Mr. or number 4 to Cortland. All right, appreciate you, Soapy Nugget. Thanks for the $5 super chat. $5 here coming in from Black Diamond, vibing with the dogs, who says Russ' revenge game is needed, but I came away from the game more comfortable with Fields as a solid backup. Yeah, I mean,
agreed.
I think something that everyone should be able to agree on is that the Steelers should feel comfortable with Fields at some point. If he was the starter, I'd feel comfortable with him. Now, is he the best starting quarterback in the league? No. I mean, I think it was pretty obvious that the Steelers felt like he was limited in his ability to make a full field progression read, because they didn't really ask him to do that. They asked him to look at George Pickens, and if he's not open down the field, then to take off and run or hit his check down, right? And he can do that because he's a dynamic weapon with his legs. But I think what the Steelers want more is somebody that can dice up a defense, somebody that can read a defense and all that kind of stuff.
You want to know how down bad the Cleveland Steamers are?
What's that?
They just signed Kadarius Toney.
The Cleveland Steamers just signed Kadarius Toney. No way.
My goodness. If they weren't down bad enough.
What a terrible joke of a franchise the Cleveland Browns are, man. Oh, my goodness. All right, so let's give some shout-outs here, man. We got Ethan in the chat. We got Justin in the chat. We got a $2 super chat from my man Brian. We'll get you up here in a second, Brian. Timothy is in here. Oh. All right. Here we go.
Timothy. Brian is one of us. He says, shout out to Brian for the $2 super chat. He says, love to see all rivals lose, especially the Browns. When the Browns lose, it's just funny because they happen to think that they're good, and they're just not.
Well, I've been hearing for the last 3 years, just wait for Deshaun Watson to knock off the rust.
When's it coming?
It's never coming. The guy is a rust statue. You can't knock off the rust if you are made out of rust, and that is what Deshaun Watson is right now. The dude stinks. I mean, some of the throws yesterday, I understand his left tackle and right tackle were injured yesterday, but some of the throws with clean pockets, throwing the football, missing by 6 or 7 yards, throwing the ball way out of bounds on a number of occasions.
The one where he was targeting, I believe it was Judy, and he threw it like 8 yards out of bounds. Dude, it was bad.
By the way, on my NFL quarterback rankings, I have Deshaun Watson ranked behind both of the Steelers quarterbacks, Russell Wilson and Justin Fields.
Is Kyle Allen better than him?
No, Kyle Allen. If I had one game, Kyle Allen versus Deshaun Watson, I'm picking Deshaun Watson.
I don't know.
But Deshaun stinks compared to the rest of starting quarterbacks
really
around
bad.
the league. Lil Slush coming in with a $5 super chat says, did not realize I'm a Black Diamond now. 1-0, baby. Here we go. Thank you so much, Lil Slush, for the $5 donation. That's all great stuff right there, my man. Victory Monday, baby. 1-0, first place in the AFC North. You got to freaking love it. I know you do, Coop. And vibing with the dogs, I agree with you, man. Let's go get Russ that revenge on Sunday. Okay, now we got $2 super chat from Vibing with the Dogs. Says we have 2 quarterbacks better than Watson.
True.
Massage Boy stinks.
Your rankings had Justin Fields above Deshaun Watson.
One spot over him, but I mean, yeah.
I mean,
he's better. If I had one game, if I had to pick a starting quarterback for one game, Justin Fields or Deshaun Watson, I'm picking Justin Fields every day of the week.
What about Kenny Pickett or Deshaun Watson? It's a discussion.
The fact that that's a discussion tells you how down bad the Cleveland Browns are as an organization.
And they're paying him $230 million.
They're paying him $230 million, fully guaranteed. Now, I did see that there's a new lawsuit put out against him.
No way.
So if there's more charges put on him, they can get out of it.
Yeah.
They can get out of his contract. So that would be no. Let's not do that. All right. Let's make them sleep in the bed that they made here by signing Deshaun Watson, Massage Boy himself.
Is that the worst trade of all time?
Yes, it's the worst trade of all time.
I actually think it might be.
It's the worst trade of all time. Point blank period. I know a lot of people like to talk about Russell Wilson as the worst trade of all time, but at least he was okay last year. He was way better than Deshaun Watson last year statistically.
I mean, and he had a stretch where they went 5-1.
And by the way, I believe the Broncos gave up 2 first-round picks for Russ. Am I right on that?
That sounds right. Yes.
Cleveland gave up 3. Cleveland gave up 3 first-rounders and gave him a $230 million fully guaranteed.
God.
I mean, they're the biggest dumbasses I've ever seen in my entire life. They're terrible.
That's why they haven't been relevant in our lifetimes.
And what makes it so great is that they did such a good job building that team around him.
The roster's great.
Defense is awesome. You know, when their offensive line is healthy, they're rolling. Nick Chubb's a great running back when he's healthy. Amari Cooper's a great receiver. They've done a pretty decent job of putting together talent. But in the NFL, if you don't have a quarterback,
you're effed.
You're screwed. And they don't have a quarterback right now, and they're paying him $230 million. He's a thief. He's going into the bank of the Cleveland Browns, the Cleveland National Bank, and just taking $230 million out of there.
I don't blame Deshaun. He's the one that they gave him the contract. It's not his fault. I would take it too if I was that ass.
Yeah, me too. I'd take it too. If somebody said, if someone from a bank was like, hey, you want $230 million? You're not going to say no, right? Especially if you're going to be able to get away with it legally. But it's just such a stupid decision, man, and I'm absolutely loving it, man. Okay, let's get into this next segment. Man, I am so thirsty right now, but I have no water at my disposal. Very parched. So let's get through these next 2 segments here. I think next segment, I might have you go grab me a water or something. Okay, man, let's get to this next segment right now. Get those donations rolling in the chat. I appreciate your guys' support. But let's get to this next segment here. Russ versus Justin Fields. Who should start in week 2? I'm going to make the case for both quarterbacks right now. Today on Steelers Talk, I'm going to give you 6 reasons why Russell Wilson should be the starting quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers Week 2 versus the Denver Broncos. But I'm also going to give you 6 reasons why Justin Fields should be the starter for this week's game for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So before we get into all of that today, I want you guys to do me a favor right now, okay? Our Browns Report, our frenemies here at Chat Sports, our Browns channel here at Chat Sports, put up 865 likes on their video yesterday, and their host, Matthew Peterson, has challenged me to a like battle today. So let's top them right now. We know that the Steelers are above the Browns in the AFC North standings right now. We have to assert our dominance as a fan base by getting at least 866 likes on this video. If that's not enough to get you to click that thumbs up icon, here is something Matthew Peterson told me just this morning on Week 1. I hope the Steelers fans enjoy being in first place now because it won't last long if they can't score touchdowns. Cleveland scored 2, and all I hear is that we're the ones that sucked. I can't wait for Deshaun Watson to knock off the rust and make these idiot Steelers fans eat their words. But here's the thing, Petey. The rust isn't coming off, man. He is a rust monster, all right? Ever since COVID, he has never looked the same. He's been outplayed by guys like Jacoby Brissett and Joe Flacco. Hell, by the end of the season, I think Jameis Winston might prove to be the best quarterback on the Cleveland Browns roster. So sorry, man. Your team stinks. I'm sorry, your quarterback stinks. Make sure you guys click that thumbs up icon right now to let them know. So let's start right now with Russell Wilson and why I think that he should start Week 1 versus the Denver Broncos. Now, don't worry. I'm going to give the case for Justin Fields to start here in just a second. But let's go over my 6 reasons why I think the Steelers would go with Russell Wilson. The first one is his experience playing against the Denver Broncos defense. He went up against this defense and this defensive personnel and this defensive structure with Vance Joseph every day in practice, all right? He knows the ins and outs of this defense, and he knows how to attack it effectively, all right, because he's gotten so many reps against it. However, you could also say the other side of the coin there is that this defense has also gone up against Russell Wilson, and they know the strengths, the weaknesses of Russell Wilson's game, and they can exploit that on Sunday. So maybe you say, oh, okay, maybe Justin Fields would be better because they don't quite know Justin the same way they know Russ's skill set. So, you know, it could be a good thing or it could be a bad thing that Russell Wilson is so familiar with the Denver Broncos, but the fact that he practiced against this team, he knows the weaknesses and the strengths of everybody on that Denver defensive front and defensive structure, I think he can absolutely have success against this team next week. So what say you guys? Let me know down there in the comments section. Is Russ's familiarity with Denver a good or a bad thing for his prospects heading into this weekend's game? Give me an A if you think it's an advantage, or type W if you think it's a weakness. This will be the pinned comment on today's show. YouTube's going to throw you an ad break here in just a couple of seconds. When that happens, take advantage of that time, but give me an A or a W. Another reason why I think Russell Wilson should start over Russell Wilson is that he's a faster processor of information. The thing about Justin Fields is that he really never has been somebody that could make a full field progression read, go from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 and make a full field progression. Well, Russell Wilson can do that. He proved that during the preseason when he did it a number of times. All right, this is an offense here with Arthur Smith that wants a quarterback that can get through his reads and get the ball to the right receiver and utilize the many options that Arthur Smith schemes up in his passing attack, all right? So that's something that Fields definitely doesn't have that Russ does, which gives Russ an advantage here. Another thing that I think Russ is a lot better at than Fields is downfield vision. What I mean by that is that if there's a receiver breaking open down the field, I think Russ is a lot better at seeing that man come open and then ripping it in rhythm. Justin Fields at times can get to the top of his drop. There's a guy right in his vision that's open, or at least NFL open, and he doesn't decide to go there. He goes to his check down, or he goes to run the football, right? And we know how dynamic Justin Fields can be with his legs, but, you know, you want somebody that can identify when guys are open, that can identify defenses post-snap. And that's something that Russell Wilson does really, really well. He has his entire career, and that's something he brings that Justin Fields doesn't, at least not at a high level. Then we get to accuracy here, which is another reason why Russell Wilson, I think, could be the starter here moving forward heading into Week 2. And you look at the accuracy numbers between Russell Wilson and Justin Fields just last year. Again, last year people said Russell Wilson stunk last year and that he was washed. He had the 6th highest on-target percentage in the league in 2023. Justin Fields was all the way down at 34%. first. Now, you might be saying, Jack, that's because Justin Fields threw the ball downfield more often. And that's true, but it's not that much more where there should be this much of a difference in the accuracy between these two quarterbacks. Russell Wilson, a lot more accurate than Justin Fields. His throwing mechanics and his base is a lot more consistent than Fields brings as a drop back passer. So if the Steelers are looking for accuracy and efficiency, Russell Wilson is more suited to do that, in my opinion. And then also, Russell Wilson protects the football better. Now, I've seen some people say, oh, don't you know that Justin Fields actually has less turnovers than Russell Wilson in the last several seasons or last 8 games or something like that. How about we just compare these two guys since they've come into the league? All right, Justin Fields in less games has 22 more interceptions and fumbles than Russell Wilson has. Russell Wilson has a top 10 lowest interception rating or percentage, I should say, in the history of the National Football League. Russell Wilson, his calling card is being safe with the football while also being able to throw that deep ball with such grace and accuracy, right? Justin Fields, he's had a fumble issue in the past, a big one, all right, especially last season. And then he also does put the ball in harm's way from time to time when he's throwing the ball through the air. So, listen, I thought Justin did a good job protecting the football in Week 1. I feel relatively comfortable that he can do it in the Pittsburgh Steelers offense if called upon, but I have more confidence in Russell Wilson at this stage in his career with the experience he brings to the table and his ability to see defenses that Fields doesn't quite have. Then we have Russell Wilson. This one might be the biggest one that I have, guys, and that's Russell Wilson's better in the clutch than Justin Fields, and by a wide margin, all right? You take a look at Russell Wilson in the clutch throughout his career. He has 31 fourth-quarter comebacks. That's tied for 9th all-time in NFL history, all right? And then he's 10th all-time in game-winning drives with 39, okay? 4 postseason fourth-quarter comebacks, 4 postseason game-winning drives. So he's done it on the biggest stages. He's been to 2 Super Bowls. He won one of them, nearly won both of them. And then you have 4 fourth-quarter comebacks in 2023. So just last season, he was first in the NFL in fourth-quarter comebacks. So he's still one of the most clutch quarterbacks. This isn't just because of his days in Seattle. He also did it last year with the Denver Broncos. And then you compare that to Justin Fields' fourth-quarter passer rating from last year, and it was 36th out of 37 eligible quarterbacks. The only quarterback with a lower passer rating in the fourth quarter, Bailey Zappi. All right, so that shows you that when defenses know Justin Fields has to throw the football, he becomes one of the least effective passers in the National Football League, and that's detrimental to a Steelers team that's going to be playing in a lot of close games this year. This is what Dan Wiederer from the Chicago Tribune had to say about Justin Fields' play in the fourth quarter last season with the Bears. His fourth quarter passer rating this season ranks 36th among 37 quarterbacks with at least 50 fourth quarter attempts, ahead of only New England Patriots' Bailey Zappi at 48.3. That tells you he's just not an accurate passer and that he's not processing at a high level. There are just certain things that are in your DNA or they're not. Sure, you can make improvements a little bit, but those things are who you are. That's the fourth quarter. That is the NFL. It's set up to be close in the fourth, and you're going to have to throw the ball well to win the games. That's what this league is, and it ain't changing. You're going to have to win games in 2-minute offense. So coming up here, I'm going to tell you the case for Justin Fields. All right, we've gone over the case for Russell Wilson, why he should start, what he brings to the table that Justin Fields maybe doesn't. Coming up next, I'm going to tell you what Fields brings to the table that Russell Wilson doesn't. So before I do that, let's have a word from our sponsor here at GameTime, which is the fastest and easiest way to buy tickets for the sports, music, comedy, and theater in your area. And folks, we all know that experiencing a sporting event, especially a football game live at Acrisure Stadium for your Pittsburgh Steelers, is unlike anything you can get from watching the game on your couch. And GameTime has a great new feature on their app called GameTime Picks. And what it does is that filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets online. So you take a look here at the GameTime app. All you got to do is you find a game or an event you want to go to, you select the GameTime Picks button at the top of the screen, and it automatically filters through their entire database using their brand new algorithm to show you the best deals for their best seats and it's super easy to use. Like I said, it's literally at the click of a button, and you don't have to do any research. It does it all for you, and it's the best way to find tickets fast at the lowest price guarantee, which is another feature that I love about using the GameTime app. They also have all-in pricing, so you know exactly what you'll pay for those tickets before the fees at checkout, and flash deals so you can get even cheaper tickets the closer you wait to the start of the event. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with GameTime today. Download the GameTime app, create an account, and use code ChatSports. It's one word, all caps, ChatSports, for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code ChatSports for $20 off. Download GameTime today. What time is it? It's game time. So now let's do Justin Fields pause. The first one here is stick with the hot hand, right? This is the Mason Rudolph argument, right? Mason Rudolph beats the Cincinnati Bengals, right? The team beats the brakes off the Bengals, and you know the argument was even though Kenny Pickett's going to be coming back healthy, got to stick with the hot hand, right? You got to go with the guy that's winning football games, that's getting success with the offense, all that stuff. But if I can play devil's advocate to that argument right now, although the Steelers did win in Week 1, I thought Justin Fields made some big plays down the stretch that helped the team win. He played his part in that victory. They didn't score a single touchdown. They didn't finish a single drive with 6 points instead of 3 points, and were held to under 20 points in the ballgame. Tell me if you've heard that before about the Pittsburgh Steelers offense, right? Not getting in the end zone, under 20 points, and still getting the victory because the defense leads the way. Justin Fields, I thought he was very efficient, 73.9% completion percentage. The passing yards were good at 150 overall, 57 rush yards, had some big rushes down the stretch, but no touchdowns. He did protect the football with no interception. So even though Justin Fields did what he had to do to get the victory, and I appreciate that about him, he wasn't lighting it up or anything like that. And I think he needed to have that kind of performance where he at least got the offense into the end zone at least once if he wanted to straight up take the job from Russell Wilson before he had even a single snap. But then we get to the fact that Russell Wilson may not be 100% healthy on Sunday. And honestly, this is the scenario in which I would start Justin Fields in Week 2 versus the Broncos. If Russell Wilson isn't 100% healthy, go ahead and start Fields. We know that this offense is functional with Justin Fields under center. So if you feel like there's any risk to further injury of Russell Wilson, you start Justin Fields in this football game, point blank, period. It sounds like Russell Wilson's feeling quite good. I've heard some reports here that Russ was not happy about the Steelers' decision to sit him last week. So that tells me that he's feeling pretty good. Seems like he's going to be healthy enough to play. But if he's not, go with Justin Fields in Week 2. Then another thing that you could definitely argue for Fields instead of Russ is that he's got a more dynamic arm. And what I mean by that is that Russ has a strong arm. He can throw the deep ball, but he's not making sidearm passes, right? He's not flipping his hips when he's rolling out to his left the way that Justin Fields is doing. You can do more things in the rollout game. You can do more things creatively in the 2-minute drill, all these things with the arm talent and really the arm dynamicism out of Justin Fields. That's a big word right there for producer Coop. It's probably not a word, but we're going to go with dynamicism as the word of the day here on Steelers Talk. Another reason why Justin Fields should start over Russell Wilson is that he's a better play extender, right? If this offensive line, Dan Moore Jr. doesn't look good, Broderick Jones has a bad week, Spencer Anderson gives up inside pressure, it's nice to have Justin Fields as a guy that has the athleticism to escape that pressure, whereas Russell Wilson, I mean, even without the calf injury, he's a lesser athlete than he was in his earlier days, right? So there's definitely an argument to be made that the Steelers can definitely use a quarterback like Justin Fields more in this way, as opposed to Russell Wilson, who can't really move in the pocket. He's kind of a statue at this point in his career, whereas Justin Fields is not only a better play extender, but he's a better rusher of the football. It's not even close. You can open up the QB run game with Justin Fields. He's going to be able to run for first downs like he did on 3rd and long multiple times yesterday. Justin Fields yesterday, 57 yards on 14 carries. Now, I'd say 14 carries maybe a little bit too much, but it's definitely not way too much. I mean, when he plays and if he's the starter this year, expect him to get a lot of carries in each and every game. You know, he's got a big body. He can take the hits, and then he's got the speed and the ability to change directions and really the great vision. I mean, this guy has some of the best vision of any rusher in the National Football League at any position, and I'm loving what he brings to the table as a rusher. So if he is a starter for the Steelers this year, that's going to be his bread and butter. Then we get to the final reason why Fields should start over Russell Wilson is that he could be a long-term answer, and Russell Wilson really is a short-term answer. here in Pittsburgh. Even if Russell Wilson has a great season this year, he's only going to be the answer for the next 2 to 3 to 4, at most 5 years, right? But then Justin Fields can be your quarterback for the next decade if he comes in and plays really well, right? So there's certainly that aspect of it as well. Personally, I'm not sure if Justin Fields, because of his vision issues, because of his mental processing issues, because he can't necessarily dice up a team with his arm, I'm not sure if he's exactly the ideal long-term answer you want to give $50 million per season to. But under his still rookie contract here, on that 4th year of his rookie contract, he is absolutely valuable to this Pittsburgh Steelers football team, and he can be a winning quarterback for this team if asked to start this year. So predict it for me down there in the comments section. Will Justin Fields be the Steelers' QB1 in 2025? Not this year, but next year. Is he the long-term answer here for Pittsburgh? Let me know. Let me know what his new contract looks like next year if he's brought back to be the franchise quarterback of the Black and Gold. Now, my pick for this week is I would go with Russ if he's healthy. And it does sound like he's going to be healthy enough to play. But again, like I've said throughout the show, Justin Fields played well enough against Atlanta to show that this offense is functional with him as their quarterback, all right? So if this offense isn't functional, if they're scoring even less points and even less touchdowns than with Justin Fields, then yeah, you're going to go to Justin Fields eventually. But I'm going to make it extremely clear here. I would start Russell Wilson, but I'm getting Justin Fields on the field. 4th and short situations. Goal line situations where the defense knows that you're probably rushing the football. Put Justin Fields in there because he's not only going to garner more attention from the defense as another potential rushing option, but he can also throw the football, right? So he's somebody that is absolutely a weapon for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Goal line situations, 4th and short situations, 3rd and short situations, and then, of course, the 4-minute drill as we saw him execute yesterday against Atlanta. This is somebody that can absolutely be an asset for the Pittsburgh Steelers, whether he is the starting quarterback or whether he's the backup. And now, something I do want to say here, and I do want to kind of jab a spike here into our friends at the Browns Report here a little bit. Both of these guys are better than Massage Boy Deshaun Watson, all right? This guy freaking stinks, $230 million guaranteed, and both of the guys the Steelers are getting this year, we're paying less than $5 million for them combined, and they're both better than Deshaun Watson, so I'll take either one of these guys over Massage Boy any day of the week, especially on Sundays. Okay, now let me know down there in the comments section. Choose your QB1 for the Pittsburgh Steelers here in Week 2. Type RW for Russell Wilson or type JF for Justin Fields. Like I said, guys, for me, I'm going Russell Wilson here in Week 2. I want to get him that revenge against Sean Payton and the Broncos. But if you'd rather go with Justin Fields, let me know. Make sure you guys click that subscribe button if you haven't already. Thank you guys for all of the support you give to the channel. If you made it to the end of the show, you are a real one. So if you're a real one, you made it to the end of the show. We got more videos like this coming later this week. So make sure you click that subscribe button right now. I like that segment, man. That was a fun segment.
Dynamicism, definitely not a word.
Dynamicism.
Dynamism. Is what you were looking for.
The word I was looking for was dynamism, but dynamicism.
I actually like it though.
Is the word of the day here on Steelers Talk. All right. So we got a bunch of great people in the chat. We got Vibing with the Dogs. We got Offsides Edits. We got Daryl W. Actually, do you mind grabbing me a small cup of water here?
Yeah, I can do that.
Perfect. Okay.
Well, let's see what that is first.
We have a Venmo. I'll send it to you. Boop, boop. There you go.
Cool.
So I need a drink so bad, man. So coming up here, I do have my Week 2 preview. If you guys thought that last segment was fun, just wait till this Week 2 preview, man. I love doing preview videos. I love breaking down teams and their schemes and I love to breaking down matchups, man. I love talking about football. I could do a good rumor segment, and it's always fun to speculate on players a team could end up getting. But, I love getting into the nitty-gritty of football, man, and I just love getting into that. And
what did John Gruden say in that clip? Oh, he's like, bullshit.
Yeah, I love that. Man. John Gruden hates the clap. He hates the clap.
He's like, this is your cadence.
This is your snap
You look
count.
to the sideline.
Bullshit. Oh, John Gruden, man, a national treasure. Oh, my goodness.
I'll be right back.
All right, man. Steeli coming in, or Black Diamond now. Steeli coming in with a $21 Venmo. Let's see what he had to say in his message. He says, it's Steeli trying out Venmo. Give Russ his revenge shot, but still use Justin Fields. And I completely agree with Steeli here, man. Like, just because you name Russell Wilson the starter and he's like your normal quarterback, that doesn't mean you can't use Justin Fields. And in fact, I have advocated for this Justin Fields package this entire time that I've been advocating for Russ to start. I have been advocating now for the last 48 hours to have Justin Fields as your 4-minute drill quarterback, all right? And if you guys don't know what the 4-minute drill is, that's pretty much you have a lead, you're trying to bleed clock, you're trying to run the football, and you're trying to pick up first downs so that the other team doesn't get the football back and you can seal the victory. And in that situation, when the defense knows that you're likely going to run the football, which quarterback's going to be more valuable for you? The guy in Russell Wilson that can't move anymore and they're not even going to be watching him on a handoff? Or Justin Fields, the guy that is maybe the most dynamic rushing threat at the quarterback position? They're going to be keeping their eye out on Justin Fields, and that's going to give more opportunities to Najee Harris, Jalen Warren, Cordero Patterson to pick up those first downs and put teams away. So, Mike Tomlin, if you're listening, my man, go ahead, make Justin Fields your 4-minute drill quarterback. And even if you're just handing the ball off, like, the defense needs to account for Fields' speed.
You're not even going to say thank you.
Thank you, Coop. I appreciate you, dude.
You're welcome.
What are you drinking today, pal?
This is water with a little nootropics in it for some caffeine.
Yeah?
Needed some caffeine. As soon as I saw we signed Terrell Edmonds, I was like, all right, we got to go. Had to get some caffeine real quick.
Absolutely, man. Terrell Edmonds, man. I haven't gotten your thoughts on that yet, man. How do you feel about the Edmonds pick? Do you think
it's fine?
You think he's going to play this weekend?
He'll be active for sure, but what position is he playing? He's not playing linebacker, right?
Would they
roll him down?
He might be linebacker.
I don't know if I love that.
Like, here's the thing. I would rather have Patrick Queen and Peyton Wilson out there as your third down linebackers.
Exactly. And then,
I'm not. So,
and he can't really play nickel, right? So
no, he can't play nickel. He'd be either strong safety or coverage linebacker.
Yeah.
Those are the two spots he would fit in because he's a bigger safety, right? And he's lost some speed.
But I probably like KZ more at strong safety than Edmonds.
Yeah, but the thing is, man, KZ has been cooked with his speed too.
Yeah, true. They're kind of the same player,
But honestly, I'm not sure if it makes that much of a difference because you have to look at it from this way. The Steelers defense, they have that beautiful combination, Coop, of that pass rush that can get home with 4 rushers, okay? Then you have Joey Porter Jr. that can wipe out the other team's best receiver, which allows the rest of the defense to shift over to the other side. And you know how hard that makes it on opposing quarterbacks, man? When you got all these defenders guarding lesser receivers and then you have 4 people coming at you like TJ Watt, Alex Highsmith, Cam Heron. There's a reason why a guy like Kirk Cousins struggled as much as he did yesterday.
100%.
I don't think it's because Kirk Cousins stinks. I think it's because the Steelers defense got after his ass and he had nowhere to go.
And by the way, that's a good offensive line.
Yeah, and it's a great offensive line, absolutely.
So, yeah. I don't know if the Edmonds signing is going to particularly impact super negative, super positive, whatever the case may be. I really hope Corliss Waitman's at least an average punter, though, because we saw last year.
Yeah.
We saw last year how shitty Presley Harvin was, and we thought we finally.
He might be your least favorite Steelers player of all time.
He was horrible, and then we finally got a good punter in Cam Johnston. Now he's out for the year, so hopefully Waitman can be good, but we'll see.
Perfect. We got Austin Tardif in the chat, my man. We got Dominic in the chat. We got James, I don't know. We got Adam Backert, who won, or Backert. I hope I'm saying that right. Let me know, Adam, how you actually say it, but he won our jersey raffle yesterday.
Indeed.
He's got a Jerome Bettis jersey signed by the man himself on its way. You got Christian Andujar in here, got Tiger, got Sandwave, we got Pat Lepla in here, CWK. We got Greg.
Dominic says, how's your day going?
Dominic, thanks for asking, man. It's going okay. Steelers first place in the AFC North. Bengals and Browns are frauds. Feels good, man, because everybody was telling me the Steelers were the worst team in the AFC North this year and that, the quarterbacks are amazing in this division. Sean Watson stinks. Give me a freaking break, dude.
He's a joke.
I think that the Steelers are in a good position here. I think that they're going to have a really good game on Sunday. And of course, every time I get my confidence up this high in this team, Coop, they lay an egg, so to speak. So we'll see what ends up happening here on Sunday.
Some injury news around the NFL. Puka Nacua placed on IR, but does not need surgery. So he
will miss the next 4 weeks. So if you have Puka Nacua on your fantasy teams, you're kind of screwed on that front. But it's going to be interesting to see, man. Cooper Kupp is still him.
Oh, dude, he was good
taking
last night.
over last night in Detroit.
Thanks for Van Jefferson, fellas.
Yeah, no thank you for Van Jefferson.
He did not play well week one.
Dude, you brought in Van Jefferson as somebody that's 6 foot, over 200 pounds, supposed to be somebody that can come in and be a run blocker. That's why Arthur Smith likes him.
And he didn't do that.
And he had a run block rate of under 40. That stinks.
So, do you think when Roman comes back, is he the number 2 outside guy?
Well, I put it out on my X account today. Van Jefferson's on the hot seat.
Oh, yeah.
Because Roman Wilson's going to get ramped up here eventually, and we know that he brings the right demeanor when it comes to being a blocker.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Calvin Austin III is too small. Calvin Austin gives his best effort. He just doesn't have the physical tools to do it.
That was the one play that I didn't like from Arthur Smith yesterday was where they ran that screen pass, and they had Calvin as the lead blocker out there. It's like, that's not what he does.
Yeah, that's not what he does.
At all.
And that's where you missed Roman Wilson for sure. Because I think if you had Roman Wilson available, he would have been in the game now. You know what I'm saying? I thought Ben Skoranek had a good day as the gunner.
Yeah, I forgot
on special
he was
teams.
Even active, honestly. And then Scotty Miller, I guess, is your new holder now.
Yeah, and Scotty Miller. But hey, Scotty made a really nice tackle in special teams too. So Scotty had a really good day in special teams.
He did.
So kudos to him.
Speaking of special teams, Edmonds maybe on special teams a little bit?
Maybe. He doesn't really have – he's not
really
that
fast.
Yeah, he's such an old guy, it's just – I don't know. We'll see where – he's such a bigger guy. We'll see where Edmonds fits in here.
Oh, and by the way, we haven't talked about this yet. The refs were a fucking joke yesterday. Dude.
Yeah.
It was embarrassing how bad
the score didn't show how bad the Steelers beat the Falcons yesterday.
The Steelers dominated that game.
They did. I mean, they should not have gotten their touchdown. I mean, even the ref himself, the ref told TJ Watt, I messed up calling that.
Really?
Yeah, he told him himself heading into the locker room. He said, I messed up on that. My bad. If I'm TJ Watt, I'm looking him straight in the face and I'm saying, fuck you.
Yeah, it is your bad.
It's like, dude, I have one less sack, one less forced fumble, and one less fumble recovery because of you.
That could cost TJ millions of dollars.
It could cost him a Defensive Player of the Year trophy. Like that one sack could make a big difference. Absolutely, with guys like Micah and Myles Garrett also competing for that trophy this year, man. It's just a disgrace that happened, man. He's just such a good defensive player. All right, man, let's get into it. Right now, my Week 2 preview for the Pittsburgh Steelers Week 2 matchup versus the Denver Broncos. It is Week 2 in the National Football League, and the 1-0 Pittsburgh Steelers will head to Mile High to take on the 0-1 Denver Broncos, where Russell Wilson will be looking to get his revenge over his old team in the Denver Broncos. We will be going live for this game for our live watch party on Sunday, starting at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time. So again, 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time, about an hour before kickoff, we will be going live for Steelers versus Broncos, an hour of pregame, live play-by-play, and then, of course, our post-game takeaways like we do every single week. So do me a favor. Click that subscribe button and join us for the largest Steelers watch parties right here on the YouTube platform, 100% free. So let's get into this matchup, man. A 1-0 versus 0-1 matchup. Broncos playing at Mile High Stadium. Obviously, the altitude's going to be a big part of this football game like it is always at the beginning of the season. Opposing teams coming in, they're maybe not highly conditioned, and they have to go play in this high-altitude environment. It's going to be interesting to see how the depth works out here and the rotation works out for the Steelers, because they will have to rotate more players in and out, particularly on defense here, to make sure that everybody's fresh throughout this football game. But the big storyline in this football game, obviously, is Russ seeking his revenge on Denver head coach Sean Payton and the Broncos organization in general for letting him go. They're paying him $38 million to play against them in this football game, man. And you know Russell Wilson wants to send these guys back to their houses 0-2 because they know what that means, man. 0-2 teams almost never make the playoffs. They almost never win their own divisions. Russell Wilson putting a true nail in the coffin of the Denver Broncos season here would be something that he would absolutely love to do. And I do think it's going to be Russell Wilson as the starting quarterback. We've talked about it on the show this week, whether it should be him or Justin Fields. I think it will be Russell Wilson because I think he is healthy enough. I think the team wants to give him this chance at revenge. However, if they do go with Justin Fields, I think this team can easily still win this football game. All right, last week, the Atlanta Falcons were a much better team, a much better roster, and this team still won pretty comfortably. They were clearly the best team on the field because the defense was so dominant. So if they do go with Justin Fields this week, I still feel very comfortable about the Steelers' chances of winning. But let me know what you guys think down there in the comments section. Type RW if you think Russell Wilson should start week 1, or type JF if you think Justin Fields should be the one under center for the black and gold. This will be the pinned comment on today's show. So YouTube's going to throw you an ad break here in just a couple of seconds. And when that happens, take advantage of that time by answering today's pinned question. So let's go over the Denver Broncos here and what you guys can expect to see from them schematically. So obviously Sean Payton is their head coach, and he's also their offensive play caller. He runs a modern pro-style offense, so you will see some under center stuff. We'll see shotgun, lots of quick game, lots of adjustments at the line of scrimmage. They ask a lot out of their quarterback in this scheme. And if you have the right quarterback, a.k.a. Drew Brees, this offense can be unbelievable, right? So the defensive scheme, very interesting scheme that Vance Joseph runs because he kind of marries a bunch of different concepts from Wade Phillips all the way to Nick Saban, all the way to Bill Belichick, all the way, even going back to like Mike Zimmer, right? And Paul Gunther there with Cincinnati with the double-A mug blitzes. So Vance Joseph has worked for a lot of defensive minds. He has compiled a lot of ideas. He runs a lot of match coverage. Cover 3 match is kind of his calling card. So that's definitely something to keep your eye on this weekend. Some major departures for the Broncos this offseason. Of course, Russell Wilson took an over $80 million cap hit for him to go away. So you know that he definitely wants some revenge this weekend. Jerry Jeudy, they ended up trading to the Cleveland Browns. Lloyd Cushenberry, a really, really good starting center, ended up leaving in free agency to Tennessee. Justin Simmons, who the Steelers played last week, also left in free agency. They did not bring him back. And then Josie Jewell, the inside linebacker, very solid inside linebacker starter, left for the Carolina Panthers this offseason. Some major additions, though. Bo Nix, their new quarterback, he will be starting for them in week 2 here. Audric Estime out of Notre Dame, a powerful running back, is going to be almost like a third running back, though. They kind of have a true committee here in Denver. Josh Reynolds had a decent season with Detroit last year, but he's a very mid-starting capable wide receiver. John Franklin Myers is a good defensive tackle. Wouldn't say he's a great one. Jonah Ellis is somebody out of Utah. He's a rookie edge rusher that I was pretty high on coming out of Utah this year, so we'll see how he does this weekend. And then Levi Wallace, L-E-V-I. I wish the Steelers would say goodbye to Wallace. Yeah, to Wallace. Yeah. Shout out to Nathan Glass, one of our viewers, for coming up with that song right there. And then the Broncos last week, man. I don't think that this score does justice to how bad the Broncos got whooped. Okay, Bo Nix, 26 of 42, should have thrown 5 interceptions in this game. All right, many, many poor decisions with the football, putting the ball in harm's way. Steelers are not going to drop 3 interceptions like the Seahawks did this past weekend, okay? Josh Reynolds was their leading receiver with 45 yards. Just not a very good offensive day for the Broncos. If I'm being completely honest with you, they seem to play a little bit better on defense, even though Geno had some nice plays in this football game. But make no mistake, man, the Broncos did not play a particularly good football game in week 1. And to make matters worse, they're starting left tackle Garrett Bowles left week 1 with an ankle injury, and his status for Sunday against the Steelers is questionable. So if he's not on the field, watch out for Alex Highsmith to absolutely eat against the backup left tackle for the Denver Broncos. So still to come here on Steelers Talk, keys to victory for the Pittsburgh Steelers over the Denver Broncos. I'll go over my scouting report on rookie quarterback Bo Nix, and then we got my week 2 score prediction for Steelers versus Broncos. Before we get into the rest of this preview here for week 2 for your Pittsburgh Steelers, let's go into our sponsor read here for our friends at GameTime, which is the fastest and easiest way to buy tickets for the sports, music, comedy, and theater in your area. And folks, we all know that watching a Pittsburgh Steelers football game at Acrisure Stadium is unlike anything you can get from watching the game on your couch, man. You go there, everybody is cheering on the Steelers. The terrible towels are waving in the air, especially late in the season. It's cold. The environment is just awesome, man. So GameTime Picks, it's a brand new feature from our friends at GameTime. What it does is that filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets, so you can go see more Steelers games this year. So this is how it works, guys, okay? So you go to a game or an event you guys want to go to. Let's go Steelers home opener versus the Chargers here. All you have to do is pick the GameTime Picks button at the top, and it puts all the tickets in their database, and it puts it through an algorithm to show you the best deals on the best seats. So you don't have to do all this research on different ticketing apps, and even on the GameTime app itself. It does it for you if you use this new feature. And by the way, every single ticket on this app, guys, on GameTime has the lowest price guarantee on any ticket to any event. It's more than just football. It's other sports like baseball, hockey, any other sport you can think of. Plus, it's more than just sports, right? It's music, it's comedy, it's theater. It's anything you can get a ticket to. GameTime has it on their app at the lowest price guarantee on any ticket to any event. They also have all-in pricing, so you don't get slapped with crazy fees at checkout. You know exactly what you're going to pay right up front. And flash deals are also a part of the GameTime app. And what that means is the prices go down even lower the longer you wait to the start of your event. So that's fantastic. If you're like me, you're a procrastinator, like to get your tickets last minute. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with GameTime today. Download the GameTime app, create an account, and use code ChatSports. It's one word, all caps, ChatSports, for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code ChatSports for $20 off. Download GameTime today. What time is it? It's game time. All right, now, on to the keys to victory. And I only have 3 because I think that the Steelers have a big advantage in this from a pure talent standpoint on their roster, okay? So the first thing the Steelers need to do is they need to take away the quick passing game for Bo Nix, because that's his bread and butter. That's why he's a fit in Sean Payton's offense, because Sean Payton likes a guy that can diagnose a defense pre-snap, make changes at the line of scrimmage, and then get the ball out of his hands quickly. If you're the Steelers, you press the hell out of these wide receivers. You get up in the face of Bo Nix and these wide receivers, and you force these guys to beat you deep. My scouting report on Bo Nix here, pre-snap process is pretty good. He does a pretty darn good job at finding his first read, knowing where to go with the football. He's generally accurate with it. The playmaking outside of structure can be pretty good as well. Maybe not elite, but it is good. And then decision-making, he doesn't really put the ball in harm's way a whole lot, even though in week 1 he should have had 5 interceptions, so maybe at the pro level that might be a little bit different. The cons, post-snap processing, I think after he finds that first read, if it's not there and the defense shifts and rotates, he has a tough time getting to 2 and 3. So if the Steelers can rotate their coverages before the snap and confuse him, I think that can force some turnover opportunities here on Bo Nix. And then also a lack of aggressiveness. Never really been a guy that pushes the ball down the field. He's going to try to work the quick passing game. The Steelers need to get in the face of these receivers, press, and then rotate as well to create confusion and not allow Bo Nix to beat them with the short passing game. Force this guy to beat you downfield. That is my message to the Pittsburgh Steelers this weekend. You want Bo Nix to throw the deep ball to Cortland Sutton and score a touchdown that way. You want him to throw the deep ball to Marvin Mims and win that way, because he still has to prove that he can do that at the NFL level. And he hasn't done that to this point, at least in my opinion. And, I think the Steelers defense and their secondary is more than capable of hanging with these guys in press coverage, right? I think that that's absolutely something this team can do. You got playmakers like Minkah Fitzpatrick and Deshaun Elliott out there, man. I think that this is going to be a really, really tough week for Bo Nix, but we'll get to that in a little bit. Another key to victory for the Steelers is you got to get George Pickens some freaking help, man, because listen, man, George Pickens is unbelievable, all right? He is an alien. He is a true number 1 receiver in this league. His spectacular catch rating should be 99 on Madden. It's the best in football, in my opinion. But Patrick Surtain is such a good number 1 shutdown corner, man. And what Pat allows them to do is the same thing that allows the Steelers defense with Joey Porter Jr. to do, is that they take away the number 1 receiver, all right? So George, he's going to have his wins. He's going to have his moments. He's going to have some nice catches, and he's going to have some big gains. But it's not going to be that much because Pat Surtain is going to be draped all over him. So the big question is, who's going to help George Pickens? Who's going to step up, and who's going to be that other receiving option that Russell Wilson or Justin Fields is going to take advantage of here? That's going to be a big, big question for the Pittsburgh Steelers in this football game. Hopefully Roman Wilson can go. Maybe Van Jefferson can have a bounce-back game. Pat Freiermuth, maybe he has a bigger role in this one. Maybe they get Jalen Warren going in the screen game a little bit more. Somebody has to step up here because George Pickens isn't going to be the guy that's going to do it all like he did against Atlanta. Then we get to the final key to victory, which is to take care of the football. And whether it's Justin Fields or whether it's Russell Wilson, it's going to be very important to not beat yourself in this football game. And that includes penalties, by the way. Okay, so the Broncos, they're hoping that the Steelers shoot themselves in the foot. They can get turnovers. They can get easy opportunities to score and all these different things. The Steelers just need to protect the football, be efficient, convert on third downs, not do these stupid penalties. Take care of yourself. Take care of your business. Your team is a lot better. Your team is a lot more talented, and you'll come away with a victory. So make sure you guys click that thumbs up icon if you haven't already. If you want the Pittsburgh Steelers to win versus the Denver Broncos and you want Russell Wilson to get his revenge over the Denver Broncos, I certainly do. If you're with me, click that thumbs up icon. So for me, guys, I think this is going to be a dominating game for the Pittsburgh Steelers. As long as no referees get in the way here, Producer Coop, this game should be easily won by the Pittsburgh Steelers, just like last week's game should have been easily won by the Pittsburgh Steelers. This one, I'm going to predict 23-6 Steelers win. And honestly, I'm not even comfortable saying the Broncos will get 6 points. Honestly, they might not even score 8 points. It wouldn't shock me if this defense and this pass rush just absolutely makes Bo Nix's life a living hell. They made Kirk Cousins' life hell last week. TJ Watt's the best defensive player on the planet, especially if Garrett Bowles isn't on the field as their starting left tackle. Alex Highsmith is going to win constantly. I mean, the Steelers' defense is just something else this year. I think that we saw that in week 1, and I don't think that this Broncos offense has anything next to the talent level that the Steelers bring to the table. So I think they dominate in this one. And then on offense, I do think Russell Wilson gets his revenge. I'm not going to say he's going to light it up or anything like that. I do think George Pickens is going to be taken away a little bit by Pat Surtain. And, I think that, Van Jefferson's going to have to make a play here. Roman Wilson, if he plays, has to make a play there. Pat Freiermuth needs to show up. The run game needs to be good. But I do think they put up points. I think that the defense puts them in positions, not only with turnovers, but with just quick stops on defense to give them good field position. I think at the end of the day, 23-6 is what I'm expecting heading into Sunday. So now it's your turn. Let me know down there in the comments section. Predict the score of Steelers versus Broncos down there in the comments section. I can't wait to see your score predictions for me. It's 23-6, and honestly, I could see it being worse than this if things really go bad for the Broncos offense. But let me know what you guys think down there in the comments. Make sure you click that subscribe button if you haven't already. I really do appreciate your guys' support. Obviously, we have watch parties, the watch party on Sunday, 3:30 p.m. Eastern time. So if you want to join us for that, we're going to have an hour of pregame, play-by-play coverage live here on the channel, and also post-game coverage as well. So if you want to join the largest watch parties on the largest individually run Steelers channel here on YouTube, make sure you click that subscribe button and join the Steelers Talk family today. Final segment in the books, Mr. Coop. And by the way, this water tastes a lot better. Yeah, so it was definitely the cup. Definitely the cup I was drinking out of earlier.
Definitely the cup. This should be a game the Steelers win with ease.
It should be. I mean, Peter Schrager said that the Broncos are going to make the playoffs this year in the AFC, the loaded AFC. And when I saw that, I was like, I respect Schrager.
I do too.
He brings a lot of positivity to the coverage of this game, and I appreciate him for that a lot. But picking Denver to make the playoffs, man, I think that's a little bit, look at me kind of. It's
he just wanted to be different.
He wanted to be different. Yeah. He wanted to say, oh, look, the Denver Broncos are going to be a surprise this year. And it's I just don't see it, man. The offensive line, I don't think is very good, especially if Garrett Bowles isn't playing. Mike McGlinchey is kind of like Caleb McGarry, who TJ Watt destroyed last week. He's like a lesser version of Caleb McGarry.
I didn't even know McGlinchey was there now.
Yeah, McGlinchey's a run blocking right tackle.
Yeah, he's not a great pass blocker.
He stinks in pass protection. So if they're being forced to throw the football. Hello, TJ Watt. He's going to be there immediately, and Bo Nix isn't going to know what to do, man.
And then they have to slide protection over. Hello, Alex Highsmith.
Yeah, hello, Alex. And it's just, I just feel like this defense is built to dominate teams like this. They're built to beat really any offense because they can get pressure with just 4, and they have a number 1 corner in Joey Porter, and then they can shift coverage to the rest of the receivers. And that having those 2 things is the recipe for an elite defense in the National Football League. And the Steelers have that, and they have arguably the best at that. So,
did we see any NASCAR package
Yes, we did. We saw
did.
Nick Herbig and get in there with Highsmith and Watt.
Interesting.
And like they are doing the NASCAR package. Now
I love that.
I do think they're including Cam Hayward, and I don't exactly think of NASCAR when I think of Cam Hayward. But he's a good pass rusher too. So I have no qualms about that. This Steelers defense, especially if you get a holding penalty, especially like if you're behind the sticks, this team is so difficult to go up against if this defense knows you have to throw the football.
Basically, if you don't execute on first down, you're screwed.
Yeah, and second down. You have to stay on schedule against the Steelers, which is just so hard to do because you got such a good front seven. All right, probably the best defensive line in football, a much improved linebacking group this year compared to past years. I think the secondary is the best it's been in years.
We were talking about this earlier. All this offense has to do is to average 20 points a game, and they're going to be great.
Hell, all they needed was 6 field goals, 18 points.
Boz was great.
Like the Steelers had 18 points, and it felt like a dominant victory for the Steelers.
I never felt like they were going to lose that game.
Me neither.
Never.
I mean, I was pissed at certain points.
Yeah.
That's for damn sure.
It never felt like they were going to let that game slip from their grasp.
Because, you just always knew, that Atlanta team could not guard the Steelers' pass rush.
Exactly.
To save their life. And, if the Steelers are leading in the fourth quarter and at any point a team has to throw the football and the Steelers know they're throwing it, it's game over because you can just send in the NASCAR package. You can widen out the splits on the defensive front. You can blitz people. You can just have Joey Porter Jr. in one-on-one coverage. He's going to lock them down, and then you can rotate coverage to the rest of the offensive, formation. And it's just it's so difficult to go up against the defense like the Pittsburgh Steelers. It really, really is, and let alone a team led by a rookie quarterback that was the 6th quarterback taken in this year's draft. All right, an offensive line that might be without their starting left tackle. I mean, it just doesn't seem like a good matchup for the Denver Broncos at all.
I was just reading quickly on this new Deshaun Watson lawsuit. They might be cooked. And, the Browns might actually... They
honestly, at this point, he's playing so bad, they might think it's good news.
They might try to get out of
Matthew Peterson might be doing a video. The Cleveland Browns just got phenomenal news. We can cut Deshaun Watson because he's a deviant.
Again, dude. Holy shit.
But what's interesting about this new lawsuit is the battery aspect of it. Apparently beat this woman up.
Yeah. It ain't good. It ain't good.
I mean, raise your hand if you'd be surprised. Nope. I wouldn't be. I think it'd be such a cop-out if the Browns got away with just getting rid and voiding his contract. That would suck, man. I want them to sleep in this bed that they have made. Plain and simply, man. They made a stupid decision. They should have to face the consequences for it. All right, man. So, Monday Night Football tonight, Coop. Let's go over our predictions for tonight's game. By the way, get your score predictions down there in the chat. We'll give you guys some shout-outs. By the way, Christian McCaffrey, inactive tonight, according to Mike Garafolo. So I picked the Jets to win this game. Coop, I don't know if you want to change your prediction here because I know you have the Niners.
McCaffrey's out?
McCaffrey's out.
Fuck.
So I think, Ayuk hasn't been practicing with the team. Trent Williams hasn't been practicing with the team. The Jets have a very talented roster. They're going to give Aaron Rodgers a lot of freedom at the line of scrimmage in this offense because Nathaniel Hackett's going to let him do whatever the fuck he wants. And Aaron Rodgers is one of the best in football history at doing that. So he's going to have his language with his guys. He's going to get into the right play. I think the Jets are going to be a good football team this year. I think the coaching holds them back from winning a Super Bowl.
I don't like Robert Saleh as a coach.
I think Robert Saleh is a bad head coach, and that's why they won't win the Super Bowl this year. And he will hold them back from winning a Super Bowl as long as he's head coach. And he won't be – I can say this right now with confidence. Robert Saleh will not be the head coach of the New York Jets 4 years from today.
Oh, I think it
maybe
might be
3 years.
I think it might be a year from today. I think they can fire him.
Well, a year from today, that would mean that this season goes terribly. You think this year goes terribly for them?
Dude, I think they could win 9 games and miss the playoffs.
They won 7 last year with, the worst quarterback.
I know, but I'm saying if they miss the playoffs, I think they fire him.
But 9 wins, though?
That probably gets you in, right?
You think Aaron Rodgers is worth just 2 wins?
He's probably worth a little
With
more
that
than that.
defense?
Yeah.
I think they get to at least 10, and if you get to 10 in the NFL, that's a playoff berth.
You should be in, yeah.
So I think they make the playoffs, but I think they lose in the first or second round.
I'm going to stick with my prediction. I'm going to go, you go 24-23, Jets win.
Well, now I'm going to change this. I'm going to go 28-17 Jets win. I think comfortable win for the Jets tonight.
I'll stick with my prediction here. I'm going to go 24-17 49ers. I really like Jordan Mason. He's primed for a breakout year as the Niners RB2. Chase Sr., host of our Niners Report, is a big fan of Mason. And I still think the Niners offense will be good enough. I know this Jets defense is really good, but I still think the Niners offense will be able to muster 3 touchdowns, and their defense will do enough to stop Rodgers.
Well, we're going to find out tonight just how dependent Brock Purdy is on Christian McCaffrey's talents. All right, so we're going to find that out today, just how valuable Brock Purdy is without Christian McCaffrey in the lineup. I think the Jets win, man. I think the Jets will have a good football team this year. Maybe not a great football team, maybe not a Super Bowl champion. I think they'll lose some games because of some stupid coaching decisions.
They are the Jets.
And, it is a Nathaniel Hackett offense. And Nathaniel Hackett, every time he's been a play caller, it's been the worst offense in football.
He's a joke.
He is a joke, but I actually think Rodgers is more of the coordinator of this offense than Hackett is. And I'm not joking.
Rodgers is more or less calling the plays.
I think what's going to happen is he knows this playbook inside and out. He knows which plays work for him, and he knows the checks. He knows what to check to. He's one of the best of all time at looking at a defense and knowing how to attack it.
It's like him and Manning, basically.
Him and Manning and Brady.
Brady as well.
Those three. Drew Brees was really good at it too. It's one of those things that Gruden has gripes about with the NFL now, is that these quarterbacks don't know how to read pre-snap.
They look to the sideline, one clap.
Yeah, and they do this.
Bullshit. John Gruden is an all-time comedy, and he doesn't even try to be funny.
No, he definitely tries to be funny.
So?
You watch his videos, he's so over the top now. He's clearly trying to be Chucky.
I haven't watched any of his new videos, but I might have to check them out. He's absolute comedy, man.
All right, some shout-outs here, some score predictions. Brock Walker thinks 23-19. He thinks Rodgers tears his other Achilles.
I said, what if he walks out and does it again? That would be tragic.
Robert says Jets 24, 49ers 17. The GOAT says 17-24, 49ers win. Let's see. Pat Lepla says Jets 28, 49ers 17.
If you have McCaffrey in fantasy, make sure you change your lineup because he is officially inactive.
Well, it's Monday night, so there's nobody else to play.
You go pick up Jordan Mason.
You can pick up Jordan Mason. That's true, and honestly, that's probably your best move right now. But
you can put McCaffrey on
but
the
at
IR
this point, but at this point, you probably like all the players on your roster that you drafted, right?
You can put McCaffrey on IR.
That's true, but some leagues don't have IR.
True.
My league doesn't have IR.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
My dad is the commissioner, and he sucks.
Is he a bad commissioner?
My dad is the worst commissioner of all time. I'm not even joking, man. So get this, okay? So it's a 2 running back, 2 wide. It's like a normal setup league. You're only allowed to have 5 receivers on the entire roster.
When you have 2 receivers and
two receivers and a flex, you're only allowed 5 receivers. So if you have 2 injured guys, you're screwed.
Because there's no IR either.
And there's no IR. It's the stupidest rule in a fantasy league I've ever seen.
Have you not vetoed this?
Well, we can't veto it because he literally says his motto is it's a dictatorship, not a democracy. The only way he'll be in the league is that if he's the commissioner and he makes all the rules. So, Dad, if you're watching, I love you, man, but
Mr. Sperry,
you're a tyrant. You're an absolute
that's
tyrant.
Be figured out.
All right, man. Our live schedule this week. We had a lot of fun today. Thursday's going to be a lot of fun, though, guys, because we're going to be playing Madden. On Thursday, might do some online games with you guys, so make sure you guys are home and
are you gonna bring your
you're ready to go, because we're gonna play some of you guys, some lucky Steelers talk people.
Are you bringing the PlayStation?
I'll bring the PlayStation on Thursday, and we'll have some fun on Thursday.
Yeah.
5:30 p.m. Eastern. So if you want a chance to play me in Madden, I mean, Coop knows I'm pretty good. So you got to be pretty good to beat me.
Sperry is electric at both CFB and Madden. It's all he does when he goes home. You can ask Cassie.
Yeah, you can ask Cassie. I play a lot, so apologies, babe. All right, we have to do it. We have to do it for the channel here. All right, now Sunday, it's the watch party, 3:30 p.m. Eastern time, Sunday afternoon. Man, it's gonna be a lot of fun. I think that it's gonna be a dominant football game for the Pittsburgh Steelers, or at least it should be. I guess we'll see if that ends up being the case. We'll see throughout the week if it's Russell Wilson or Justin Fields. I believe Mike Tomlin is set to talk with the media tomorrow after practice.
No practice tomorrow. Off day.
That's right. It's an off day tomorrow. So, we'll see what happens and who they decide to go with at quarterback. I think it's going to be Russell Wilson, but who knows? I'd be fine with Fields. In our live poll, actually, our pin poll, 56% of people say Russell Wilson is going to start.
We'll probably find out Friday who the starter is.
We could find out tomorrow, because when somebody asked Tomlin, like, who's going to start next week, he said, ask me on Tuesday.
And then he'll say, ask me on Friday.
And he might say, ask me on Friday, or whenever he goes back up on the podium. But, it's going to be an interesting week. We'll have the latest injury updates for you guys on Roman Wilson, Russell Wilson, all these other guys. Darius Rush left with a concussion scare yesterday. We'll see if he's available for Sunday. So it's going to be a good week of Steelers content, man. Thanks for hanging out with us today on Victory Monday. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Until next time, here we go, Steelers.
Peace.